So, with The Last of Us being spread to a new audience, I wanted to just talk about an idea I've had for a while about this series and the TV show that has just been reaffirmed for me in recent events. Now, while it's not a crazy, unheard of opinion, I want to talk about how it is to me. And of course, before I go into the topic at hand, I wanted to give you some backstory. I was 13 years old when I first played The Last of Us, and while I will not speak on the sequel as I want to cover it as I play through it for the first time soon. So, of course, stay tuned for that. It will come later. Anyways, this game really impacted me heavily, of course, with the story of companionship and allowing wounds to heal through meeting others who just get you. And at the end of the day, help you push through. And as Joel puts it,
No matter what, you keep finding something to fight for.
the game, of course, has one other theme, and that's love. Whether it be through Ellie or Joel, this game just tells a beautiful and sad story that shows you how trauma can be healed through meeting someone that you never expected to become close to, while you two have different objectives and opinions about one another and how you come together to complete both different sides. Now, what drove me to make this video is, well, Ben Shapiro. And no, not because of something he put out politically or just another thing he said, but it was his post on the third episode. He did a review of it on his social media page of The Last of Us on HBO. Of course, while his tweet was primarily about Bill and Frank, I feel that he and others who maybe agree with him do not understand The Last of Us as a whole, because the entire story isn't about zombies or the infection. It's about love, trust, and companionship. And Ben, I'm sorry to tell you this, but the episode is primarily the theme of the entire game and TV show. And now I won't be doing a full story recap, as there are thousands of those out there. What I will be speaking about is the story as a whole that fits into this video. Now, let's go back to the beginning. When we first meet Joel, he is a loving, hardworking father. It's very obvious that in the first cutscene we get in the game, he has work keeps him late, he's had a late night, and all he wants to do is rest and enjoy the night with his daughter. But it so happens to be his birthday. And we get the really good introduction of Sarah buying him a watch. And of course, we get that great dialogue where she talks about how she sells drugs. Of course, a joke, but it's really fun to see how Naughty Dog did a great job showing us how well Joel and Sarah's chemistry and relationship is in the first 20 minutes of the game. And this little snippet we get of Joel has nothing to do with zombies. While they are trying to escape it, all the game focuses on is Joel, Sarah, and Tommy, because that's the game. Now, of course, what I mean by what I said, that it has nothing to do, but they do have to escape it, is that, of course, in the beginning, we see Joel kill a zombie. But what's interesting is we don't play as Joel. We play as Sarah. We watch it happen. And I think what they're trying to capture with that scene is that this child's innocence is being destroyed. And they want to destroy our innocence on these characters of the game that we just got comfortable with. This game does not want you to be comfortable because it's The Last of Us. It's a dark, unforgiving environment where all you have to do is survive no matter the cost. And of course, we get to the driving section where we see Joel and what would become of Joel, of course, with his survival instincts, which is, of course, letting a family go because they will just drag them down and will do nothing but get them killed. And it's very interesting to see how Tommy is, because this is the Tommy we will see for most of the game when we're introduced back into him when we go to Jackson, Wyoming. But it's very interesting to see that Tommy is a little bitter. He's a little frustrated at Joel. Of course, he's panicked because of what's going on around the world, but it's very interesting to see how it's just interesting to see how angry he gets, and it's kind of cool to see that seed implemented to what we find out later in the story. Now, the zombies around them are, of course, trying to kill them, but the relationships of those three, and of course, with this relationship that's built up in the beginning that Naughty Dog executed so well, we get one of the saddest moments in game. And I'll let this play here if you've not seen it. Spoilers, by the way.
Like her leg is broken.
Stop right there!
Okay. We're not sick.
Got a couple of civilians in the outer perimeter. Please advise.
Daddy, what about Uncle Tommy?
We're gonna get you to safety and go back for him, okay?
Sir, there's a little girl. But... Yes, sir.
Somebody, we've just been through hell. Okay, we just need... Oh, shit. Oh, no. Sarah. Move your hands, baby. I know, baby, I know. Listen to me. I know this hurts, baby. You're gonna be okay, baby. Stay with me. All right, I'm gonna pick you up. I know, baby. I know it hurts. Come on, baby, please. I know, baby. I know. Sarah. Baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Come on. No. No. No, no, no. Please. Oh, God. Please. Please. Please don't do this. Please.
And then we get the time skip. And of course, it's 20 years, just like in the show and the game. The years are different for the show and the game, of course. But we progress through the early parts of the 20-year time skip. We learn that Joel, we knew, is gone and is a closed-off, broken man who is very lonely, even though having a companion named Tess. But he is ready to keep himself locked away from the world, never to return. What I always find interesting about this game is that when you compare it to other zombie games, is that the zombies are the biggest character of the games. Most of the game is about figuring out what happened to the infection, why these people are either immune in the story or somehow have not become zombies, and how they're going to either escape, fix, or save the world. But not with The Last of Us. The Last of Us shows us many times that this game is not about the zombies, as really the only time we see them are during gameplay sections. Now, of course, they are in some cutscenes, but most of the cutscenes is about the characters and their relationships and the story going forward, and how the characters react to their environment. The only time we really see them, of course, during cutscenes is to give them character development. Of course, Henry and Sam and Left Behind are great notable sections of The Last of Us story as a whole that show off the zombies, but in different reasons. The story of Henry and Sam, of course, if you've watched the recent episode of The Last of Us, it's actually been shown, is of course about about brothers who are being hunted in the show, and then in the game it's not really clear, they're just trying to survive. They were in a group that has of course been split up, and that's how they meet Joel and Ellie. What's really interesting, and this is why I truly believe The Last of Us shows it's not a zombie series with Henry and Sam, is that the only reason Sam becomes a zombie is due to the relationship that Henry and Sam have, and the predicament they get in by leaving Joel and Ellie behind, and of course reuniting, but Henry and Sam are off, or at least Sam is. It's very interesting because through character development, we learn that Sam is infected by, of course, the next morning he's infected. And it's very interesting to see Henry and Sam shows what could become of Joel and Ellie if Ellie would die or Joel would die. They would become broken beyond repair and would just be distraught. We see that with Henry as, of course, he dies in a way that, if I said YouTube would probably not demonetize, but YouTube will probably take down this video. But Henry dies, of course, and we get to see how Joel reacts to that. And it's very interesting to see how Joel was actually becoming friends with Henry and Sam, and it looks like that they were going to probably travel together and have somewhat of a relationship and maybe a partnership with the two. But of course, The Last of Us is not going to let that happen. The world is going to tear that apart and show them that love, compassion, and trust is not the way to survive. It'll only get you killed in the end. But what's interesting in the game and TV show is, of course, the main focus on the dynamic relationships of Joel, Ellie, and Tess. Of course, who is the most important character in the first game, because of the fact that we wouldn't have this story without her. This game and even show make the point of the zombies just being a vessel for storytelling, as the fights that are the most intense and brutal are, in the game at least, and in the TV show, are when you fight other survivors, because they are trying to do the same as you, which is survive. And they will fight tooth and nail, as they have their own motivations when it comes to trying to protect their loved ones as well. The game's darkest moments are with humanity being absolute monsters worse than the infected by various methods that would get this video in trouble if I listed all of them. So I recommend you play the game, and of course watch the TV show as it comes out. But the game wants you to invest in Joel and Ellie and forget the infected, and have them blend in with the environment of just another obstacle. Because, of course, what's very interesting about the zombies is they are a fungus mutation. And if you played the game, you see that nature's taken over. And I really feel like the zombies blend in due to the nature being a massive force that has taken over all of civilization. And at times you will see them in foliage that is hiding them at times while you're playing the game. And I really feel like Naughty Dog designed this world and the zombies to really blend in, to make you forget what they are, but how dangerous they are. And sometimes they'll catch you off guard due to how enveloped they are in the world that is The Last of Us. But you, the player, are of course more focused on watching these characters become a father and a daughter duo, as they both need each other in different ways. Joel needs Ellie to become human again, as he is just a callous, broken, angry man who misses his daughter and resents the way he lost her through failure. And of course, that is through Ellie, and she of course has that second chance. Ellie just wants someone who won't leave and will be with her through thick and thin, and of course someone that she can also protect and of course make her feel safe. And thus we have the story of The Last of Us. The Last of Us isn't about zombies. It's about the connections we have with others and how we have to believe in a new fight when times get tough. One way that is shown in the game and the TV show is through Bill, who are two different characters in the show and game. Bill in the show is a man who is closed off and just wants to survive, but through Frank becomes a man who knows that love and companionship make living worth it, and gives purpose that if lost makes life meaningless. And they have a beautiful relationship in the show, and of course it's a happy ending that we don't get in The Last of Us. It's a rare ending for characters. But we have Bill in the game. He is a man who has lost everything and is what Joel would become. Broken, angry, and of course closed off forever. But he has Ellie, his saving grace. In the show and the game, through Bill, it's made important that having someone to care for is how you survive, not just in this world, but your sanity. We see that Bill in the game is a man who is lost, just surviving to survive, and not waking up to a new day of possibilities and dreams, but a man who isn't there. He's lost his humanity, and we can assume he will never gain it again due to the nature of how we leave him in the game. But Bill on the show is a man who dies happy because he got to have purpose and the love and companionship everyone needs to get through life. As I believe without friends and loved ones, we are just matter, decaying with no purpose and no will to be greater than we were yesterday. And that's what The Last of Us tells me. And that is, no matter who we were yesterday, we can be better for ourselves and our loved ones, no matter the cost. And of course, the game and show teaches us to find what makes us have purpose and fight hell and back for it, so that we never have to lose it. And that's what Joel learns at the end of the game. He learns that Ellie is his purpose now, and that he cannot go through losing another daughter, because there could be a cure. And that's why we get the hospital sequence. And whether or not you believe Joel was selfish to save Ellie from dying on that table, the final part of the game shows us how far Joel is willing to go, to hold on to this attachment that he cannot let go, by telling a devastating lie to Ellie. Now, what does this have to do with the overall title of this video is this. The game was never about zombies. It was about a story of two individuals meeting by chance through a hellscape, becoming a father and daughter, through many, many traumatic events and experiences that shaped them to become the characters we see at the end of the title. And of course, the whole idea of human companionship, and the importance of never abandoning the humanity of being vulnerable, even if you get hurt, because that's what makes life great. That's what us humans and just people of this world have to do. We have to be vulnerable, because that is the way we live. That is living life. Because I like to quote the great Chris Reagan: life's not worth living if it's just a lie. But thank you if you've watched this entire video. This is my first attempt at making a sort of video essay, and please tell me what you think about The Last of Us and what it means to you. And of course, if you've made it this far, please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload next. And if you would like more of these videos, please let me know in the comments. Discuss this as well. I'd love to talk to you guys about it. But until the next one, everybody, peace.